Che Guevara is an icon of the revolutionary spirit and had a part to play on the world stage during the Cold War. For this reason, he was given his own event card, and we will look at it in depth here today on Legendary Tactics. Che Guevara is a controversial figure, a hero to some and a villain to others, but he was instrumental in revolutions and coups, not just in Cuba but in other parts of the world. His event card in Twilight Struggle is surprisingly good for the USSR, and the American player will need to mitigate this one well. Let's look at it now. Che is a 3-op mid-war Soviet event card. Triggering the event allows the USSR to immediately make a coup attempt using the 3 operations points provided by the card against a non-battleground country in Central America, South America, or Africa. If that coup removes any US influence, the USSR may make a second coup attempt against a different target under the same conditions. This coup may be undertaken in the same region as the first one, or in a different region. Please note that these coups provide the USSR with military operations points, as the coups are not free coups. Also, it might be worth noting that the event gives the Soviet player the option of making 1 or 2 coups. They're not forced to do so by the event, as this might matter if the Cuban Missile Crisis event is in force, for example. For the USSR, this is an event that gets better as time goes on, especially as it isn't a start event and may occur more than once. Its main power is in swinging 1 or maybe 2 of the affected regions away from your opponent and towards your domination. This can be done with the coups themselves, helping you access countries that weren't easily available to you, or by flipping non-battleground countries that set up great realignment opportunities. Because a lot of non-battlegrounds tend to be weakly controlled, a coup with 3 operations points can be pretty powerful and should be successful in helping you lock down that non-battleground for a while, if not the rest of the game. It should go without saying that once you have identified your 2 targets, your first coup should be against the country with the lower stability. This is because the second coup only becomes possible if the first is successful in removing American influence. Even if the roll isn't great, you want to make sure to remove at least 1 American influence so you can get the second opportunity. Make sure that your 2 targets set up a crisis of some sort for the US, where it creates 2 spots where an urgent response is desirable, but only 1 is possible. This then allows you to take advantage of the situation the US is not able to respond to, hopefully by taking a battleground by direct influence placement or by utilizing a realignment roll in some way. This event is effectively worth 6 operations points to you, so it's good if you trigger it, and even better if your opponent does. The mill-ops provided by these coups are an added bonus. If there are no good targets, you can of course take the operations points. It may be worth holding on to, but it really depends on the board situation at the time. For the US, this card is only safe for you to play if there aren't any good targets. So this would happen either early enough in the mid-war that you haven't had the chance to play into the affected regions, or you may only have influence in high-stability non-battleground countries like Costa Rica or Morocco. You can also get away with playing this card without dealing with the event if the Cuban Missile Crisis is in effect and if the Soviet player is unwilling or unable to cancel it. Remember that if you let the event happen first, you will have the opportunity to coup one of the affected countries right back with the same ops value, but not both. That is the challenge of letting an event like Che happen. For that reason, once you get to the point where the Che event can be utilized against a bunch of potential targets, you will likely have to consider sending this to the space race. If you don't, keep in mind that this is the equivalent of handing your opponent 6 operations points, even if they can only be directed against a limited number of non-battleground countries. So in summary, for the Soviets, Che is a card event that can be of great benefit, especially as the Cold War drags on. It can be taken for the operations points, but only if there is another pressing need or there are no good targets available. For the US, early in the mid-war, this event might be playable as there are limited targets and there is still plenty of game ahead for you to recover. But as the game goes on, it will become more and more unplayable, and you will need to send it to the space race. This has been our analysis of the Che card in Twilight Struggle. We hope you got some value out of this video, and if you did, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.